Daryl. We're ready to go.
Okay. Excellent. Good evening, everyone. This is the April 8th Planning Board meeting. I'm Kimberly Peace. I'm the chair for the evening. I'm going to read our introductory notes. In accordance with the Governor's Emergency Order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, the Planning Board will utilize the emergency meeting provisions of RSA 91A to conduct meetings through electronic means while preserving, to the extent feasible, the public's right to notice of such meetings and ability to observe and listen contemporaneously. On the evening of the meeting, you can listen contemporaneously on the phone by calling 603-766-5646. Once you call, you will need to enter the participant code 785-645#. Please make sure you enter the pound sign after the number to participate. If you are having difficulty calling in to the number to participate, please call 603-660-5000 for assistance during the meeting. So we'll start with a member roll call. It looks like we have more members. Let me go just around the screen. So Joanne Duffy.
Hi, Joanne Duffy, Planning and Economic Development Director.
Okay, Gail Lebreck.
Gail Lebreck, alternate and recording secretary.
Jim. You're on mute.
This is Jim Raymond. I don't run this machine too well.
Karen.
Karen Hughes.
Peter.
Peter Georgantis, Selectman's Rep.
David. Where did David go? David Pierce. Oh, we lost David. Did I get everyone then?
Phil is on the phone. Oh, Phil just popped off. I'm sure he'll come back.
Okay. We'll move into correspondence and action items, right, Joanne?
Yes, if you want to go to the second page of the agenda,
Okay.
there are some action items that we need to take care of.
Okay,
Excuse
I've
me?
got the chair's agenda up on my screen.
Excuse me, can I, Joanne?
Yes,
Tim just reached out to me. He said he didn't get a meeting invite.
who did? Phil?
Tim
Tim.
Redmond said he did not get a meeting invite.
Okay, if you hold on a second, I don't know why he didn't, but I will resend, but just bear with me for a minute.
I told him to be looking for it, so. Sorry to bother your meeting, Kimberly. I just wanted to get as many people as we can on, right?
Yes, definitely. But since you interrupted, Peter, you have to tell a joke or sing a song.
Yeah. Well, I was in Key West last week. I can sing some pretty good songs.
May we vote on that? I'm voting to pass on it.
We're waiting.
Trying to figure this out. Okay, I'll go in a different direction here. Hold on.
Okay. Since we have a quorum, could we do any of these action items while we wait for Tim to join us?
Okay, I sent it to him.
Good.
Okay.
Sorry, Kim.
That's okay. I'm thinking that we could skip to number 2, 3, and 4 though, and wait on the planning board minutes until Tim connects with us. So action item number 2, Gail LeBrecq requested to be reappointed as planning board alternate. We would need to vote on that. Is that correct, Joanne?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone have any comment on Gail being reappointed as a planning board alternate?
No, but I'll move to have her appointed.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Okay. We'll have to do a roll call vote. Let's go around the room. Let's make sure I have my list right. Peter?
Yes.
David? I don't know where David went. Gail? Oh, can you vote on your own? And, Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Phil? And there's me. I vote yes. So we do have a quorum. That passed, right, Gail?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Phil, can you hear us? Phil, can you hear us?
I don't see him on the list of attendees.
I don't
He's
either.
on the phone, but for some reason, it sounds like he can't hear.
Kind of an oxymoron. Sounds like you can't hear.
Oh, there's Tim and there's Dave. Hello.
They're back. David and someone else just came on.
Tim, we see you.
Tim.
Tim.
Mhm.
Okay, now I gotta figure out why these people can't hear.
Tim, can you hear us?
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in. I can't see any pictures or anything. I can hear your voices.
He probably has to turn on his video.
I can see him.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
hang on.
Yep.
Thank
Phil.
Really
you.
need to go into settings.
Phil, can you hear us? No. I think everyone on the phone is having the same problem. Mr. Modesto, are you there? Oh, I don't know why they can't hear. I can redo the phone connection if you want to hold on a minute.
Okay.
I'll log off and redo it.
Okay.
Okay, just give me a few minutes here.
So we're waiting. Wonder if that's progress.
We're glad you're here. Please enter your participant or moderator. Please say your name, followed by the pound key.
Joanne.
participants muted.
Welcome to the audio conferencing center.
If you're the meeting organizer, press star now.
You are now joining the meeting.
Okay, let's see. We've got 3 people on the phone.
Okay, good.
Can anyone hear me? Wait, let me unmute them. Okay. Matt, can you hear me? Mr. Modesto? For some reason that they're not coming through. I don't know why.
Joanne, are those 2 people the applicants?
I know one is Matt St. Sierra. I'm not sure who he is, but I know one of them is an applicant.
Well, if we can't have Collins, that means we can't have public hearing, right?
Right.
If you can't have Colin, you have to suspend the meeting.
Let me just, if you have a few minutes, let me just see here.
Joanne, isn't there a way for, I'm looking at the Teams invite and there's a call-in number for audio only.
Yes, there is. I don't know if, I think these people can hear me.
But I'm just wondering if we should circulate that number. I don't know if you can do that, but just an idea.
Yeah, we can. Let me just get the number here.
It's, do you want me to, I can send it to you or I can read it off to you.
Yeah, do you want to read it off?
Yeah, it's 469-998-7470, and then there's a conference code, which is 705-290-91.
Okay. Can anyone hear me?
Do you have them on mute? Because if so, they may not be able to respond back to you.
No, I don't have them on mute. That's what I'm confused about. Why?
Karen, read me back that stuff. I'll try calling it in and see what's going on.
Peter,
Sure.
I have their phone numbers. You want to just give them a call and find out what's
Oh,
going on?
just, Karen, give me the phone, give me that information again.
Yeah, it's 469-998-7470. And then the conference ID is 705-290-91.
Hold on just a second. What was it? The thing's talking.
There's a pound at the end of that.
705
290-91.
290
91.
91.
And then I
And
think,
pound.
yeah.
You're the meeting organizer, press star now.
Okay, that number's asking me if I'm the meeting organizer.
I think you just ignore it.
I am now joining the meeting. Can you hear me? Well, let me,
Well, talk through the phone and step away from the computer.
Joanne, you gotta allow me to enter the meeting.
Okay, 1 second here. Okay.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so you gotta make sure, Joanne, you're allowing these people to join the meeting.
Okay, so these people don't know the number. Why is that happening?
It's because Peter has us on both speakers. He has to hang up on one or mute
I
one.
did. I hung up.
Okay.
And I see
hung up.
switching.
Apparently what we're not doing is allowing people to join the meeting.
I'm
James Modesto. I can hear you.
All right.
Who is that?
Modesto.
Oh, okay. Does anyone have their live phone next to their computer?
It's all an echo.
I
Joanne,
think
shut
part
your
of the
phone
problem
off.
would be if somebody has one of the videos running of the planning board meeting. That seemed to fix it.
No.
No.
I'm gonna try something here. Muted. Is this better? No.
I think if everybody goes on mute, we can figure out who's the echo.
Hello.
Phil, are you there?
Hello. Where'd the meeting go?
Okay. People.
This is James Terry Modesto. Where's the meeting?
Okay. If you're on one phone call, you need to step away from the computer. You can't be on the computer and your phone. It sounds like it just went dead.
This is not good.
Hello.
Okay, Mr. Modesto. Are you there? I'm going to lower his volume for now. See if that helps. Oh, he's on there twice. With two different phone numbers. Oh, he's actually on there three times. Okay, is this better? No.
Joanne, why don't you try muting everybody?
Is that any better?
A little.
All right, I'm just going to mute all.
Hello?
Okay, you're fine.
I think I'm okay.
You're fine. Jim, you want to join on? Just unmute yourself.
Okay.
You're fine. Kimberly,
Okay, hi.
you're good. Gail,
Hello, I'm here.
no echo. Sarah?
Here. I'm here.
Is David still there? I don't know.
Sammy?
I don't see David. Tim, can you unmute yourself and just speak for a minute?
I don't know.
Tim, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you're fine. So it has to be these people on the phone. There's two Marinos. I don't know if they're like close by to each other in the room or what. Can you hear me, Mr. Modesto?
You're gonna have to unmute him.
Sorry. Mr. Modesto, can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Modesto, are you there?
Which he the one that's the 4978990?
No, that's me.
Oh,
How about Matt? Can you hear me? Matt? I don't know why you can hear them and then they go away. Beth, are you there? Beth Marino? I think they should just call in on that other number.
the one I gave out?
Yeah.
What you could do is someone who has presenting privileges can share their screen, and you could just type that number into a Word document, share that screen, and just say, we're having a quick recess. This is the new number to call in.
Can I give that to you?
I logged onto my computer and I do not have presenting privileges.
I can give it to you.
Okay, then yeah, I
Okay,
can definitely.
there
do
you go.
Joanne, this is Tim. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Joanne, if it's just my computer, there is echoes everywhere. I can't even understand what people are saying.
It's funny, Tim, because we had a problem earlier and we thought we fixed it. Everyone else doesn't have the echoing any longer. Are you also signed on with your telephone or your TV? Are you watching?
I'm on the computer on the Microsoft Teams end.
Okay.
And you're having the bad echo still, Tim?
I can't hear anything at all. It's all echoes.
Do you want to try calling in on the conference line number?
I guess if that's the only option.
Let me give you that number. It's 469.
I just put it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's helpful. If you can figure out how to bring it up, Tim.
I'll just read it to him. Oh, there it is.
I just shared my screen. Hopefully you can see it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to write it down. Thank you.
Joanne, are we sure that we're allowed to proceed with this, given that it's not the same number that was given out in the previous information?
The
I don't think you-
previous, I mean, if someone else joins on, we should probably, Sarah maybe could continue to share that for a few minutes. I see another number on here.
Kimberly, our meeting's supposed to be open to the public, so I'm concerned if we're not. I don't think that satisfies, unfortunately, the requirements of the modified 91A.
Right, that's what I'm asking. If people don't have access to this and they want to join the meeting later, they're trying to call in the number that was advertised and we can't get them, then I'm not sure we can move this forward.
This
Right.
Should be a public meeting, not a invited group meeting.
The people are showing up on, I have a separate screen with people calling in, and they're showing up on the screen. However, I don't know whether they can hear us, but they obviously can't respond. There's 4 people on there currently.
Are we on air? Because if so, the number is being publicized, right? I don't know if that counts.
I think we're rolling. We were on the air. I don't think they've taken us off.
But unless we're able to advertise this number the whole time,
Right.
I'm not sure that that's meeting the requirements.
Excuse me, can we suspend the meeting for 15 minutes and Derek will be there?
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, no, I'm just guessing. Of course I talked to him.
Okay.
There were also, as an FYI, there were 3 people waiting in the lobby.
Okay, so we can suspend the meeting for 15 minutes, or I don't even know what time it is right now.
7:26.
Hello,
7:45,
Uh,
and
this is Tim.
see if we can get back up.
Tim, you there?
Yes, I am. I can hear you.
Okay, good. Derek is on his way over to figure out how to get sound to these other people.
Hello.
It probably
can't-
wouldn't hurt to leave, like,
Kimberly,
should
you
we just
make-
leave the screen up?
The chair needs to decide to make that decision to wait to 15 or till 7:45.
I agree with you, Peter. I think that's what we should do. We should suspend the meeting until 7:45 until we can get access. And we can hear the people that are calling in on the number that's been advertised.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Should we all sign off then?
Can I make a
I don't think you have
suggestion?
to sign off. I mean, just,
Can I make a suggestion? I could share my screen. You don't have to see my face. And we could keep this, or Sarah can just keep this up there on her side in the meantime. I mean, it's up to you, but
I would think that I would think that you would have GTV put on technical difficulties, meeting to resume at 7:45.
Okay.
That's my,
Okay.
Okay.
excellent.
Okay.
That'd be a great idea.
Good.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Carol.
Good.
Are we changing the contact phone number? Because
We won't know that till Derek gets there.
Thanks for coming back. Are we on GTV? Do we know? Excellent. Okay, good. All right, thank you for putting up with us while we had a technical difficulty, but we are all back and we believe that everything is functional for the meeting tonight. So thank you for rejoining, or if you're just joining, this is the Thursday, April 8th, 2021 Goffstown Planning Board meeting. So we're going to resume our agenda looking at correspondence and action items. First item is acceptance of the planning board minutes for March 25th, 2021. Does anyone have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the March 25th, 2021 minutes. But I do see a revision that needs to be made.
Okay,
I
I think I need a second before I make the revision, right?
think
Yeah,
so
I'll
too.
second it.
Okay, thank you, Phil.
So I
Sure.
see at the top here, they refer to me as Kimberly Hughes, which, you know, Kimberly is a fine name. It's just not mine.
There we go. Does anyone else have any corrections or edits? Okay, so I think Karen made the motion to approve as amended. Phil seconded. We have to do a roll call vote. Let's go. Peter,
Abstain, I wasn't at the meeting.
thank you. David,
Yes, approve.
Gail,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes,
Tim.
Abstaining, I wasn't at the meeting.
Okay. I vote yes. So that passes. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. So we did item number 2. We're looking at item number 3. Gail Lebrecq requesting to be appointed as member at large to the CIP committee. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Let's
Make a motion.
Let's hold on this before, we're kind of doing it backwards. Usually, one, you appoint the chair and then decide on who's going to be appointed. I think appointing the members first is wagging the tail first before you pat the head. We have new puppies, I can say that. So I'm happy to have Gail on the committee. In fact, I'm anxious to, but I think let's do that first.
Okay, so that was on the list at the end, but should we move that up now and appoint CIP now?
Well, if you want to do it, then we can fill in the members, but please create the committee before you populate it.
Create the committee. Okay, well, that was under other business, but we can go ahead and do that. We can appoint CIP committee chair and members. Is there anyone interested in being CIP committee chair?
I'll do it again.
Okay,
I nominate Jim Raymond.
thank you.
I'll second it.
As long as Gail's on the committee with me.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim seconded. All right, let's go around. We'll have a vote. Peter,
Yes.
David,
Yes,
Gail,
Yes.
me, I vote yes. Jim,
Can I vote against myself? I vote yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Phil,
yes,
Tim.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a chair. Do we have anyone else who's interested in being a CIP member? I'm interested in being a member of the CIP too, but do we have to vote myself and Gail in? Or can we just vote both of us in together?
I'll make that motion.
I'm going to elect you to a package deal and elect both. And we have also, I think Brad Parkhurst has requested to be appointed.
That's a good idea. Can we do all three? Karen, will you amend that to all three?
Yes.
Excellent. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Awesome. Okay, let's have a vote. Peter,
Yes.
David,
yes,
Gail,
Yes.
me, I vote yes. Jim,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Phil,
yes,
Tim.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. We now have a chair of the CIP and we have several members. Thank you, everyone. Thank you
Kimberly-
especially. Yes, Joanne.
Kimberly, I have another item under correspondence that I sent out via email today regarding Woodland Village.
Go ahead.
Which is the project on Bog Road. So I don't know if anyone has had a chance to look at it, but they're at the end of their project. They're wrapping up all of the documents that are needed before the plans are signed. And we have just a kind of a fluky thing that's happened at the end. Attorney Sue Manchester is handling all of the details for Dakota Partners. And it turns out that due to the type of financing that they're going for, they need to create a condominium. And the project itself will be built in 2 phases. And they because of the financing, they need to have 2 separate owners. And so it all requires it to be condominiumized. However, that hasn't gone to the planning board. So I did speak with everyone today about it. I spoke with our attorney, and Sue Manchester has included an email explaining what this is all about. And I'm just trying to get a read from the board if you're okay with having us continue. We also have input from John Deachman, who is the counsel for New Hampshire Housing and Finance Authority. And he has also weighed in on this and said this is a normal way of doing things, and that the approval of the condominium is not necessary. But I wanted to get the board's input on this before we move ahead.
Joanne, this is Dave. What is the actual motion that you're desiring from the board?
The motion would be that this is not a material change to the project, and that they could go ahead and file the documents required for the condominium. It's an air rights condominium. It's not a land condominium. And that we would not require them to return to the planning board for additional approval.
Jim, I see you had your hand raised.
I wanted to get Jim's input.
Hard for me to question the town council, but you look at the definition of subdivision in our zoning ordinance and regs. It's a division of land, blah, 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 for sales and these condominium conveyance or building development. So it is a subdivision. The creation of a condominium is a subdivision under our ordinance and regs and under the state definition. So,
and I did bring that to their attention, and they continued to say that it was not required, and as well as our own attorney. So that's why I'm kind of in a flux right now. I'm not sure what to do. So I thought I'd ask the board.
I question, it is required, as David suggested, and you suggested, do we find it's a non-material change? You could do that, but I'm certainly not going to agree it's not a subdivision and not subject to our jurisdiction or subdivision regulations.
Jim, did you have a chance to look at the email from Sue Manchester?
I did, and it explains it for their financing purpose. That's fine. I see why they're doing it, but that doesn't answer the question posed to us is this a subdivision on which we have to act or find some reason not to? Just because they need it doesn't mean we don't have to approve it. I mean, anybody can make that argument. We need to do this, therefore, board, you shouldn't review it. Yeah, are we going to do anything with it? We can find it's a non-material change, but I think we have to have some action on it. That's why David is asking, what's the vote?
Do we feel like this is a big enough change that we need someone to come in and do a presentation at a different meeting?
I'm not sure that we do, except to the extent you've got different owners. Does that matter to us? Maybe not, but you've got this development has a bunch of covenants, requirements of how it's developed. And the question is, by having separate ownership, does it affect the obligations to perform those conditions? And I don't know the answer to that. I just saw this at 4 o'clock. I didn't have a chance to digest it, but that's the question, Joanne. You
Mhm.
separate ownership, who's on first? This doesn't get built properly, who's responsible? Who is the owner?
That was my concern, seeing the timing of it, that it came in so late in the day that even if we decide that this needs action, no one has had a chance to open it. I didn't open it. I opened it, skimmed over it, and said, I don't have time to digest this. So
Mhm.
In fact, I've lost the original email, so I need to read it again, but I don't like this way of doing business, getting stuff before the meeting when we have day jobs. And this does require some thought. I think in the end, we will approve it, but I don't want to create an approach that they need it, therefore we don't have to do anything with it. Or something like that.
Would you prefer that we put this on the agenda for the 22nd and have Sue Manchester join in on the conversation?
Yeah, the issue is not do they need this? I understand that. They're financing. Both Sue and the financier here. It's what is our jurisdiction? What's the proper action? I asked the question about what this does to obligation to perform the covenants, and maybe there's a simple answer. But at 4 o'clock, when I had other billable work to do, I didn't have a chance to think about it, and I'm not sure you've been answered yet. So you postpone it, come back with an answer. We could say, fine, it's not a material change. I'm not prepared to make that finding now.
Okay. The other question is, when this plan was approved back in 2009, there were a list of conditions. Those conditions have carried over every time this plan received an extension. And one of the conditions called for them to return back to the board for a conformance hearing to consider the content of all covenant easements, stormwater maintenance, and development agreements. Now, the way we do it now is that the staff reviews those things, and we also send it over to the town attorney as far as the covenants and documents. What do you wish to do with this one? Do you want it to come back to the board after we've reviewed it, or which will require a hearing as well?
Jim, go ahead.
Well, that was a condition of the approval. We can't just change that on our own. The public is entitled to rely on it, and this did have we may find staff review is fine. Just because staff does that now, the condition stated what has to happen. We can't just change that.
I agree. We put that in there because we had a very active public, and they wanted to hear all of the process, and we made that point. So.
Okay. So we'll have to schedule them for a future meeting because the public will need to be notified. And I'm not sure if the 22nd will work, so it may not be until May.
Yeah, the 22nd's full. We've got 4 lot plans already. No.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So are we moving on to new business now? So sorry. Joanne, are we moving to new business?
Yes.
Okie dokie. All right, so the first item up for new business is map 2, lots 2A1 and 1-8. Completeness review, final subdivision review hearing for proposed lot line adjustment between the 3 existing lots. Lot 1-8 will be dissolved and will no longer exist by being added to both abutting Lot 2 and Lot 1A. Lot 2 will increase in size from 43.08 acres to 47.88 acres, and Lot 1A will decrease from 41.07 acres to 38.92 acres. Property owners are Carriage House Properties LLC and Walnut Hill Road Realty Trust, located at Walnut Hill Road, zoned agricultural. We have this information was in our packets, and it came with a map that I was just looking at. So let's start off. Joanne, why don't you tell us more about this?
Okay, this is located on Walnut Hill Road. Both of the lots are currently undeveloped, and the owner would like to develop at least one of the lots, which did not have the proper frontage. The lot line adjustment will provide that lot with the proper frontage. It's located in the agricultural zone, which requires 200 feet. The application is complete. Staff recommends that you find it has no regional impact and it's ready to be heard.
Okay. Jim? Jim, you're on mute.
There are 3 waivers that need to be addressed as well, Kimberly.
Sometimes I'm better when I'm muted. Yeah, Tim said that. This directly abuts Bedford. Can we say it has no regional impact? It seems to me if Bedford were developing something next to us, we'd want to be notified.
This is only a lot line adjustment. They're not proposing any other lots at the moment. It's just 2 lots and the lot line is being adjusted and there will still be 2 lots.
Okay. Jim, go ahead.
I don't object to her reasoning. I just question whether this creates a precedent for how we in our abutting town notify each other. But in this case, it makes sense. I just want to be able to explain it to them.
Yeah, Dave, I agree with Joanne. Adjusting the lot line doesn't raise to the seriousness of the actual development that is going to occur. So there's no, to my viewpoint, no regional impact.
Okay. So I believe we've kicked this off with someone making a motion for acceptance for review of.
Joanne, otherwise is the application complete?
Yes, it is. With the exception of the 3 waivers, so.
Yes, I'll make a motion to find the application complete, that there's no regional impact, and to accept the waivers for discussion purposes only.
I'll second that.
Just a real quick point of order, Kimberly.
Yep. Go ahead.
Have you designated who was going to be the person tonight? Because you're missing one person. You need to designate either David.
Thank you, Peter.
Well, I'm just saying that's part of that's the process. So.
Yep, you're correct, Peter.
Thank you, Peter. All right, so for this, since Dave kicked it off, we'll have Dave vote on this one. So my voting members are Tim, Phil, Karen, Jim, me, and David.
I don't get to vote.
You get to vote, yes. Sorry. Sorry. I was trying to read them off my list and not say,
Now that
yeah,
I'm
that was hard.
properly on the board, now that I'm properly on the board, I make the same motion.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll second it again.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's go around and take a vote. Peter?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Me, I vote yes. Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's discuss the waivers. They're asking for a waiver. There's 3. We address these individually, is that correct, or together?
Individually, usually.
Okay. There's a waiver of wetlands delineation, that's section 6.m. Waiver number 2, appendix C, stormwater management plan, and waiver number 3, appendix D, erosion control standards. Because this is these are existing developed lots with no new buildings. Both properties are serviced by existing on-site septic and wells.
Kimberly, Bernie Temple is on the Teams app representing the applicant. He is from Eric Mitchell's office.
Okay. Jim, go ahead.
If we
You're on mute
create,
again. There you go.
come off. We create a lot for frontage purposes. If there are in fact wetlands in the area that we've now created, we've given them an argument on why they should be able to cross the wetlands. So I'd like to know if there are any wetlands in what's parcel B that they're now going to want to cross in order to develop the back lot. Because I think that goes to the waiver request.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Temple, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, what we're doing, we're just looking for, lot line adjustment at this point. Eventually, when we do come to look to get a driveway permit and all that, if there are wetlands and then we will be going before the town then for the crossing. At this point, we're just looking strictly for the lot line adjustment to get the frontage. At this point, that's all we're looking for.
I do understand that, but you're asking for a waiver. So are there wetlands on site that you can speak to?
There are wetlands on site, yes, there are. They have been flagged in areas. And so, yes, there are wetlands on site.
If you've had them flagged,
can-
then are you asking for the waiver?
I guess we don't have to.
Kimberly, can you hear me, Kimberly?
I don't know who's
This
speaking.
is the owner, Steve Bonino, what's this?
This is Steve Fabonio, the owner.
Okay,
Landowner. I can tell you, Kimberly, that there is a wetland crossing. It was applied for in 2004, granted and installed. So there's already culverts in place that were approved through the state of New Hampshire to access that lot.
so which lot then would that be?
So the wetland crossing is on, I don't have a plan in front of me. I apologize. I'm mobile here. But the piece, lot 1A that had frontage originally, we put culverts in to cross that wetland knowing that we were going to be seeking frontage on the road for the back lot that's landlocked. So that was done in 2004.
Okay,
So there are state approved wetland permits, and they were installed in 2004 when I purchased this property and subdivided off some lots.
okay. So the wetland delineation waiver request then would be for additional wetland delineation through the rest of the parcel?
There is a wetland where the driveway crossing is that's marked. The wetland is on the lot that we're dissolving, which was 2.8 acres. That was lot 1-8. We're dissolving that lot. The wetland was on that lot, and it crossed under this proposed this driveway location that will now lead to the back lot. But in anticipation of this, I had obtained the wetland permits and installed them. We just didn't expect to be this far out doing this project, but we had other things that were more important, so we just kind of got delayed getting started here.
Okay. So are we still looking for a waiver then of section 6M if the wetland has been delineated?
Well, they don't really need one if it's already been delineated. What do you think, Steve?
Oh, sorry, I'm not asking you, I'm asking the board.
My
Go ahead, Jim.
I understand what you're saying. My concern is I don't want to argue that we've created a buildable lot by granting, and perhaps because they have the wetland crossing already, that's not an issue. If we're going to grant this without the wetlands mapping and so forth, I think we have to note that we're reserving any right that when it comes in for development, we can relook at it. It's Mr. I don't know, is it correct? They may have addressed that. We just don't have that on the plan, so we don't know that. And that was material information that would be useful to have. We don't have it. So if we waive it for now, I want it noted that we haven't waived any option to revisit that. Yeah, and they may have addressed this. We just know it's not, other than that statement, it's not on the plan, so we don't know that.
Okay.
Kimberly,
Yep.
if they do return and just do one house lot, and they do not cross that wetland, then they're fine. But if they need to cross that wetland as part of their driveway permit, we could make a note and provide it to DPW to put it in their file as to when this comes back and they apply for the driveway permit, that it would get kicked back to the planning board. Because if they're just building one house, they won't necessarily just automatically come back to us.
Right. Tim, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, thank you. So if they are going to build one single-family home, they won't need to come back to the planning board for any reason, even if DPW kicks this back, because we don't have any authority. If it's going to be a single-family lot with a single-family driveway, it doesn't come back to the planning board. Once this subdivision is completed, the waivers stand for the duration of the project.
Well, that's why I think you need to make a note on there that if they are building anything and they're going through that wetland with their driveway, particularly, that they do need to come back, and then we can alert DPW when they go to apply for their driveway permit.
But what's the authority, Joanne? Under what authority?
DPW would not issue the driveway permit if it's going through the wetlands and there's no dredge and fill permit for it.
Well, the driveway permit for DPW's sake only goes within the town right-of-way. They don't have any authority on private land. The dredge and fill permits are issued through DES. So
I know that, but Eric would not issue the driveway permit if it's about to go into a wetland. He would kick it back to the planning board. But you'd have to have something in here if you were to approve this waiver, you would have to have some language in there to include that, and that would be the way to get them back. Otherwise, my recommendation would be to deny the waiver, and if they do need it down the road, then they come back in for a wetland buffer approval.
I guess Mr. Fabonio said they have the driveway permitted. The wetland crossing is permitted.
Yeah, the drive, it's done.
And it's installed.
The driveway's in.
Okay.
It's installed. It's already in.
Which is hard because we don't see that on our plans.
Right, and there's no notation on the plan either. And I don't have anything from the DES that it was ever approved, so it's kind of lacking.
I can provide that information for you. I think it's not on the plan because we didn't think it was pertinent to just do a lot line adjustment. I mean, it's I know when we saw you way back in 2004, the wetland was all delineated, and that's why we had to go for the permit. So that work has been done a long time ago. We don't have it on the plan because I don't think we thought we needed it for the lot line adjustment. So I apologize for that.
Sorry, Tim, you first, then Jim. Tim.
Thank you. Well, in the past, it's been explained mostly by Jim to handle these issues, that we would approve the wetland delineation, stormwater management plan, and erosion control standards plans just for the subdivision only. And they do not apply to any future development on the site. Any future development on the site, these are not waivers in perpetuity. These are just for the subdivision only, and they'd have to meet all other standards in regard to a building lot in the future. Maybe I explained it wrong. Jim may be a little more eloquent.
Well, no, I don't. That's correct. I just want to amend that I'm not arguing what the applicant's saying to us. It's just that we said we don't have it on the plan, so we don't have it. It's not on the record other than a verbal explanation. But if we waive it, it's going to be solely for purposes of the lot line adjustment, and we're not waiving. Are we looking at the wetlands when this project comes in for further development? And then, if you can show it's been properly permitted, fine. We just don't have that in front of us, so that's the concern. But I think, I understand they don't need to mark the whole track for what's probably a wetland in the front. I'm not opposed to granting the waiver with that condition, solely for purposes of the lot line adjustment.
Do you want to make that motion?
I think I just did.
Okay.
All right, Scribe can put it into a motion. I move that we grant the requested waiver solely for lot line adjustment purposes without waiving any review of wetlands or any other aspects of within the waiver if and when the project comes back for further development, or the lot comes back for further development.
Thank
Second.
you. Second, thank you. Okay, gonna have a vote. Peter? Peter? Where did Peter go? Peter, are you
Dave
there?
says- Yeah, Dave says yes.
Okay, Dave says yes. I say yes. Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Peter?
He's on mute. I don't know.
Do we have a quorum without him?
Yes.
Yes, yes, we have a quorum.
Okay, let's go ahead. Peter abstains. Okay. Okay, second waiver, stormwater management plan. I think we can do both of these together because it's the same concept. Stormwater management plan and erosion control standards are, as Jim, stated, we do this a lot line adjustment only. But sorry, I'm the chair. I can't make a motion, right? Tim?
Yes, you
Make a
can.
motion to grant the waivers for number 2, the stormwater management plan, as well as the erosion control standards for the lot line adjustment only.
Thank you. Anybody second?
I'll second it.
Oh, thank you, Peter. Okay, let's vote again. Okay, Peter,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
me, I'm yes. Jim,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Excellent. Okay, we have found now regional impact complete for review, acting on the waivers. It looks like we are ready to hear the applicant's presentation. Who would like to speak, Mr. Temple or Mr. Fabonio?
I can speak. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna just say the same thing that you just said about the way you described it, so I'm really not gonna say it again. We're looking to get rid of that small lot, 0.6 acres, and get frontage on the back lot. Both lots end up being about 30 acres plus or minus, and we'll be back, that's all we're doing at this point, and hopefully we can come back later to try to get a driveway permit and come back to town, so.
Okay. Tim?
Could we hear from DPW on this matter, please, at some point?
Sure. Sarah, would you like to speak on this one? Sorry, did I surprise you? Sarah?
After Sarah.
I am so sorry. I couldn't access it. It was like frozen. Yes, let me put my comments. I was actually kind of excited about this lot line adjustment because since we've dealt with so many applications with non-conforming lots and people questioning how to access them, I was excited to see a non-conforming lot get access through the correct channels. So I didn't have any comments on this other than labeling the right-of-way with, and then we'd want digital files of the asset.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else on the board have any comments or questions for the applicant? No? Anyone on the phone? Okay, I guess we can open the public hearing. Joanna, is there anyone on the phone that's going to speak to this?
I'm just unmuting everyone here. Anyone on the phone have a comment?
Unmuted.
This is for map 2, lots 2, 1A and 1/8, a lot line adjustment on Walnut Hill Road.
Any
No?
comments from anyone on the phone?
Yeah, I just have a quick comment. I couldn't really hear what the developer was saying when he was talking about his plan. I couldn't understand what he was saying. I'm sure it's just a bad connection.
Can
So
you say your
I
name,
missed that
please, for
entire
the
thing.
record?
Sure, I'm sorry. It's Beth Marino.
Can you spell that?
It's Marino.
Correct.
Okay. Do you have a specific question? It's essentially a lot line adjustment. I'll read the description again. So lot 1A is going to be dissolved, and we're going to add property to abutting lot 2 and lot 1A. So lot 2 will increase in size from 43.08 acres to 47.88 acres. Lot 1A will decrease from 41.07 acres to 38.92 acres.
Okay, yep, I got all that. My question is, do we know yet how many houses, what kind of development this is going to be, how large it's going to be, that sort of thing? Do we know that information yet?
It's not a requirement for a lot line adjustment.
Okay, so that would be a different hearing that we would find out more about that.
Correct. If they come in for a development that has multiple houses, they will have to come before the planning board. And if you are in a butter, then you will receive a public notice for that.
Okay, all right, great, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Is there anyone else on the phone that would like to speak to this application? Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing. So I don't think we have any outstanding issues, and we've approved the waivers. We do have some conditions for approval. It looks like we have 9 conditions. Note on the plan the board's final written decisions. Number 2, include appropriate professional stamps and signatures. 3, provision of digital files. 4, review and determination plan does not exempt the applicant from the obligation to meet all required codes. 5, does not exempt the applicant to meet all required permits. 6, public utilities, wetlands, shoreline, stormwater, DES, US EPA, Army Corps, etc. I think that's part of 5. Looks like that's just a long run-on sentence.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
7, deed shall be required for recording purposes in order to create the new lot line. Joanne, is that from another project also?
Yeah, I'll fix that for the minutes.
Okay, thank you, because that's written wrong. Okay. The town will record the deed with a lot line adjustment plan. It's 8, written certification from the survey that all monumentation has been properly set. And number 9, label right-of-way width. So we actually only have 8 conditions. Did we have any others that we added? Tim, go ahead.
Thank you. I'd like to add a condition that reminding the applicant that all waivers are granted for the lot line adjustment only, and had that as a condition of approval.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have any comments or conditions to add? No? Would anyone like to make a motion? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Kimberly, I was going to ask for clarification on the DPW flagging that site for when there's a driveway. Should I put a note in our files, or what did we come to a conclusion on that?
So the decision was that this is all for the lot line adjustment only. And if they come back, I think if they come back for anything other than, I mean, the driveway crossing is installed, so they're allowed to build this single family house with that crossing, right? I mean, that's our assumption, Tim, but if they don't need another driveway permit, right? Tim, I'm looking at you for that one.
Oh, yes, I concur. I think that if it's a single family house, that it's a moot point. If it's future development, which involves multiple lots, then these waivers were just granted for the lot line adjustment only, and any future development, all that would be required as any future condition.
Okay.
I do think that DPW would actually still get involved, even if it's a single family home, just because of what appears to be the length of it, and they'd be adding on to it. So minimum, it'd be a modification permit, but then we'd also, just to get to that back lot is approximately 700 feet. So it would trigger NFPA standards. So we would get the fire department involved, and we would make sure it was constructed to NFPA standards, which might impact that crossing. NFPA requires a certain width.
Okay.
But so all of that happens without it needing to be a condition.
Okay, right. Right, because that's a standard review for a parcel this size or a driveway that might be that long.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so adding Tim's condition, we have 9 conditions. Would someone like to make a motion for this? Tim?
Make the motion to approve the 9 conditions.
I'll second Peter's motion.
Looked like Tim, but Peter spoke. Okay, Peter spoke, Tim seconded. All right, let's go for a vote. Peter?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Me vote yes. Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
And Tim?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. We are good. Thank you, Mr. Temple and Mr. Fabonio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Gail, you can be the voting member for this, just so that we'll be fair to everybody tonight. So, map 6, lots 14-1 and 14-3, completeness review, final subdivision review hearing for proposed lot line adjustment between the 2 existing lots. Property owners are James and Terry Modesto. Owners are located at 266A and 268 Goffstown Back Road, zoned agricultural and residential 1. And I could possibly be an abutter to this site. I'm at 201. Am I an abutter to this site? I admit, sorry, I have not even looked at the map until now.
Did you get notified?
I don't check my mail super regularly, but no, I don't think so. Wait, what is that? Sorry, my bad. No, I'm not an abutter to the site. Thank you. Peg's house is in between. Okay, we can go forward. Thank you. And then you don't know who Peg's house is, but anyway, the yellow house is in between. So, okay, so we have to first, I don't want to do these backwards like I did it last time. We have to accept for completeness and regional. Joanne, will you start this off, please?
Yes, this land is located, like as you said, on Goffstown Back Road. There are 2 homes and they are owned by the Modesto family. They are adjusting the lot line to give one lot a much larger piece of land than the other. There are existing structures on both lots, so that is not changing. They're not adding on to the structures at all. They're simply doing a lot line adjustment. The back portion of the land is somewhat steep. There is a drop as you go back. It sort of drops off, and then the river is down at the very back portion of the property. They have marked the all of the setbacks for concerning the river, the wetland buffer, the woodland buffer, the protected shoreline. Everything has been marked on the plan. Joe Wicker is the surveyor on this property, and I believe he is not online, but I'm just trying to remember. Here it is. Steven is filling in.
I'm here, Madam Chair.
Oh, you are? Okay. Sorry, Joe. So that's really about it. There are 3 waivers requested as well.
Okay. Do we accept it for completeness and no regional impact?
It is
Make a
complete.
motion.
Oops,
Thank
sorry.
you. Someone want to second that?
I'll second it.
Thank you for discussion and completeness. So, okay, let's vote on that. Peter?
Yes.
David? I'm sorry, Gail?
Yes.
Me, yes. Jim?
Are we adding our usual condition without waiving the review of the waived items?
Yeah, sorry. We
With
will
that-
be addressing the waivers subsequently.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
We're not waiving the waivers. I grant you. Oh, yes.
Thank you. Karen?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. All right, let's discuss the waivers. We have the same 3 waivers we did on the last one. We have wetlands delineation, and let's just jump in and discuss that, because to Jim's point from the last one, if there are wetlands that need to be crossed for this, we would need to have some comment on it. So Joe, do you want to comment on that first?
Sure, sure. You wanted me to weigh in on the waivers?
On the wetland delineation, yes.
Right. So, I don't know if you want me to put the plan up or not, but really, so the whole front of this area is a gravel pit, right? So it's pure sand. There is no wetlands until you get to the bottom of the drop. So the area that we're talking about is either good sand under the power line, and then to the very back, there's some wetlands that we haven't delineated. But as both lots are fully developed, we were hopeful that we would not have to actually do a wetlands delineation.
Okay. Can you detail what the lot line adjustment is?
Sure, hang on. Let me share this. I don't have permission to share.
Oh, let me give you permission, Joe. Go ahead.
All right.
I just noticed that the staff report that was sent to you is not complete. Do you have the same one that I do? It doesn't even have an introduction on it. It just immediately jumps to regional impacts, and under overview, it says the lot map and lot, and then it says plan dated, and there's nothing after that.
Correct. So
that's it. That's the incorrect report. I'm not sure why that was sent out, but when Joe's finished, I'd like to just add a few things.
Okay. I've been looking at the chair's agenda, so.
Okay, so hopefully you can see the screen. It shows it up on mine.
Yes, Joe.
No?
Nothing there, Joe.
I can see the screen.
I got a note that says Teams at Microsoft is sharing a window.
I can see it.
I can see it.
I can see it.
Okay.
I see it.
All right. So I guess it's there. So basically what goes on is the current configuration of 266A runs like this, runs along the Surratt Pit, comes up to this line on Goffstown Back Road, and comes back, bends here, and then goes out to the Piscataquag and comes back around. I didn't want to do that. And so, you know, the history of this is the Modestos used to live in 268. But as they're getting, as we all are, we're getting older. And so the house was a little bit much for them. So what they did was they built a newer, smaller house, one level house here on 266A. So the intent was to downsize, but Mr. Modesto, you know, likes the big yard. So although he wants to downsize the house, he's hopeful to not downsize as much of his yard. So, you know, he's got the house here, there's a garage here. The driveway kind of comes in and horseshoes around. And so what we're proposing is we're going to take the southwesterly 4.05 acres of lot 14-1, and we're going to annex that to lot 14-3. So that's going to increase 14-3 from 2.74 acres to 6.8 acres, and it will reduce lot 14-1 from 6.05 to 2.001. We currently have an application pending in front of DES for the state subdivision approval. The houses are serviced by on-site well and septic. In the staff comments that I received, there were, I think, 2 comments from DPW. One was we need the liability waiver for the existing well, which is out here along the road. And so that well sort of predates the town requirement to have the well radius stay entirely on site. So the applicant will sign that liability waiver, and then DPW, there were some pins here that DPW wanted us to set, so we were agreeable to setting those pins. You you know, so I think, and I'm kind of drifting. I guess I should have been only talking about wetlands, so sorry.
It's okay, I'll put you back. Okay, so first step we have to approve, we have to discuss your waiver requests. So, board, does anyone have any comment first about the wetland delineation waiver request? No, Jim says no. Tim, anyone?
Nope.
Does anyone want to discuss all three of these together?
I have a question,
Go ahead.
Kimberly. The stormwater management plan, I guess I'd like Joe to make a representation that there's no erosion or stormwater issues on these sites that would require further detail. We'd like to hear him address those just to create a record.
Okay, Joe?
Sure. So both properties are fully developed. And so 268 Goffstown Road, the older house by the road, you know, that's already stable. Everything is stabilized and it's all stabilized. It has lawn, things like that. The 266A, that house is, you know, it's newer, so the sort of the vegetation is taking. And this is a newer garage here on the west side of the power line or south side of the power line. But if you look at the topography that's here, you know, so there's a fairly steep bank to here. And so the advantage that we have is this site is almost pure sand. So any kind of water that sheet flows will be absorbed into the ground well before it gets down to the wetlands. So I don't think there is any, you know, we're not proposing any new construction, and what's there due to the soil conditions, I think will be adequately retained on site.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Can we hear from Sarah just to confirm that what Joe said is reasonable? I assume it is, but I don't know anything about anything.
Okay, Sarah, would you like to speak on that?
I agree with Joe's assessment. I did not have any additional concerns.
Okay, thank you.
Kimberly, on that basis, I move that we grant the requested waivers.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
I'm no, on the basis of the applicant's representations of granting, it's not on Sarah's seat of the pants assessment.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Tim seconded. Okay, let's have a vote. Peter?
Yes.
Gail?
Yes.
I vote yes. Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The waivers have been accepted. Okay, the next item would be to hear Joe discuss the project, but he just did a great job of discussing the project. We do not have a public hearing on this. Is that correct, Joanne?
No, there would be a public hearing. You would open it up to the public.
Okay, it's not listed on my steps. Sorry. Okay, board, any questions before we open a public hearing? Anyone? Okay, all right, let's open this up to the public hearing. Joanne, is there anyone on the phone that's going to speak on this project or question?
James Modesto is on the phone.
Okay.
I don't know if he has anything to say.
No, I just agree with Joe. Joe did a fine job.
Good. Thank you. Anyone else, Joanne?
No, no one else is there. I just wanted to mention one thing that for some reason my paperwork is not the same as what I had online, so I don't know where the mix-up went, but I just wanted to mention one thing that was in my notes, that lot 14-3 is a non-conforming lot because of the frontage. They appear to have only 57.72 feet. However, this portion of the lot remains as is. The lot line will not be changing anything in that area. I just wanted to note that for your information.
Okay.
And the you should have the suggested conditions of approval on the chair's agenda.
Okay, it looks like I have 10, which I think seems to be,
Yes, 10 is
10.
correct.
okay, all right, good. Okay. I missed this on the last one. Do we have any comments from, are these comments then wrong from assessing, police, zoning? That's all not for this site?
No, it is for this site. So assessing wanted to make sure if any deed was required. I don't know. I think it would be in this case because it's two different owners, that they take care of that, on their own, but to make sure that it does happen so that the tax bills can reflect the change.
Okay,
And there were no comments from fire. DPW had 2 comments and there were no comments from the police.
okay, thank you. Okay, so we haven't we need to close the public hearing. We don't have anyone else on the phone that has come in during this time?
No, there's no one else there except for Mr. Modesta.
Okay, so we'll close the public hearing. Thank you. Board, do we have any outstanding issues or do we want to talk about the conditions of approval? Tim?
Kimberly, the number 6, same error as in the previous application. The number 7 should be the number 6. And the others are renumbered.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's different than what I'm looking on the screen at the chair's agenda, but okay. Right, 5 and 6. 5 and 6 are the same. So there's actually 9 conditions then. Okay. Anyone, I'm sorry, Tim?
Thank you. I think as we did on the last application, we should include one more condition of approval stating that all the waivers were granted for the lot line adjustment only.
Okay, thank you. Jim?
I have a persnickety question. Number 10, reset any missing monumentation along the north side of the property line. Do we know what that is? Is that just a general statement?
I think Sarah had sent us a letter, and I think I've got an idea. She marked up a couple points that she was looking for.
Okay, so there are some defined points.
Okay. Thank you.
Why don't we amend that to the satisfaction of DPW or something, so there's some reference to some objective standard, not just any missing monumentation. Every property is missing monumentation.
Okay, so that's condition then number 9, amend, as Jim noted. And then we added Tim's conditions, so we're back to 10 conditions.
No, I think we're at 11, aren't we?
No, we merged 5 and 6. They're the same.
Right, so that would get us down to 9, then Tim would be 10, and then Jim's would be 11.
I think Jim was revising,
Oh, okay, sorry.
right,
Yeah, I was
reset
just
any missing
adding-
monumentation to the satisfaction of DPW.
Okay, that's fine, we're good with that, yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
I will object to Joe commenting that all of us are getting older. He's not, he may be, I'm not.
There
Neither
always
am
has
I.
to be one that isn't Jim.
Okay, if no one has comments or questions, how about a motion?
I move that we approve with the conditions as outlined.
Okay,
I'll
thank
I'll
you.
second.
Thank you, Peter. Tim, was your hand up for that or?
I was going to make a motion, but I didn't want to blurt it out.
Okay, excellent. All right, got a motion on the table. Let me find my list here again. Okay, let's vote. Peter,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
I vote yes. Jim,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries.
All right, thank you very much.
We are done with that one. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, final items of business. Election of planning board chair, vice chair, and alternate member.
Didn't we just do alternate member?
We did.
Do we
Gail's
have
the
to do
alternate
ano-
member.
do we have to do another alternate member?
I think Gail's the only alternate we have, actually.
No, David's
Or-
an
I
alternate.
thought David was an
Sorry,
alternate.
David, you're right. You are also. And did we vote on David?
No, his term
No.
is different, I believe.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we're back to election of board chair and vice chair.
I'm going to nominate Tim to be chair.
Thank you. Anyone second?
Second.
Thank you.
We should ask Kimberly if you want the job too, because you're doing such a good job running this meeting under stress.
Jim,
I
you
did-
sure you don't want it?
Kimberly respectfully declines to be chair until my daughter graduates high school. So thank you. But I will accept the nomination for vice chair if anyone wants to make that nomination.
I move that we do a package deal and add that so we can do one vote.
Okay, thank you. Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's go ahead and vote on that. Peter?
Yes.
David, let's have you vote.
He's muted.
You're muted.
Yes, I vote
There we go.
yes.
Thank you. I'll vote yes. Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
There we go. Motion carries. Good job.
I think I'd like to make a motion that we thank Barbara for her what seemed to be endless years of being chair.
I agree with that. That's a good motion. Anyone want a second?
Oh, I'll second it. I forgot you couldn't second it.
Me too. Okay, let's put a vote to that. Peter?
Yes.
Gail?
Yes.
You're my voting for tonight. I'll say yes. Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Sure.
Phil?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you, Barbara, for being chair. Okay,
Yep.
moving on. We got one more appointment of
We have the,
representative to EDC. Unless
I'm
Tim, you
sorry.
got a question?
we have the
Yes.
alternate member.
Was there another request for an alternate member that I read somewhere from Joanne?
Yes, I think Gail needs to be reappointed. Is that correct, Gail?
Didn't
For
we
what?
do that at the beginning of the meeting?
For
Oh,
what?
I did CIP for her.
That was,
I'm not on the CIP anymore. I resigned from there so Jeremy Jones could join. That's when he joins.
Wait,
But-
I thought we appointed her to CIP.
CIP,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
CIP.
but Gail, is your appointment as an alternate member for the planning board that needs to be reappointed?
Yes. But
Yes.
that's done already, wasn't it? Was that done?
No,
We did
that
it-
was,
We did it the first thing in the meeting when we were kind of waiting for something to move. We were waiting on someone.
Yes, that was the very first motion.
We did. We made it as a first motion.
okay, okay.
CIP.
No, the planning board.
That was planning board.
CIP was later as a group.
Madam Chair, since the first motion was when we had defective public input, I move that we confirm the appointment of Gail as an alternate member of the planning board.
Okay, great.
I would second that.
Okay, thank you. We'll vote again. Peter,
Yes.
let's go for David this time.
Yes,
Myself, yes. Jim,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
Okay, good. Now it's official. Gail, congratulations.
Thank you.
Tim has a hand up.
So my note said that we appointed Gail LeBrecq and Brad Parkhurst as a combination to CIP. So I think we have to rescind Gail's nomination to CIP from earlier in the meeting, if she doesn't want to be on CIP.
I applied to, I submit my application for it. Yes, I'll be on CIP.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're back to appointment to representative to EDC. Would anyone like to be on EDC?
They meet once a month on the first Wednesday at 6 o'clock for about an hour. And
I'll
so
do it.
far it's
Karen
been,
will do it. I'm
Karen,
nominating
I know.
Karen.
All right. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Yes, I'll
Okay.
second.
Thank you. All right, let's vote on that. Peter?
Yes.
I'm going to go with Gail.
Yes.
I vote yes. Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Motion carries. Excellent. Thank you, everyone, for volunteering for that. And I've come to the end of my list. Joanne, do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you, Peter.
I'll second.
Thank you. Let's have a vote. Peter?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
I vote yes. Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Thank you, everyone. Thank
Have a
you for your
wonderful
patience tonight.
Nice job, Kimberly.
Yeah, good work
Thank
under
you.
pressure.